Welcome back to the channel. I'm Joe, and I've got so much stuff going on right now. The front of the 4Runner is torn apart again with the winchy stuff, lights and whatnot. I have a mess all over the floor and my workbench, and I've been cutting and drilling and spray painting. Plus this video is gonna go out late. Sorry, not sorry. Got busy last week, and then finally we got to take the camper out, so I've been enjoying that. And then I was also working on filming another video that was supposed to come out instead of this one, but I had audio trouble. So if in the next couple videos the timeline doesn't make any sense at all and I say things that don't make sense because you've already seen other things, just know that I'm doing my best to get you guys some content. So let's go down here and take a look at what the heck I've got going on. Stay tuned. Alright, so I'm putting some lights on. I picked up some Auxbean rigid knockoffs. I like Auxbean headlight bulbs. I've had good luck with those, so I figured I'd pick up these light pods. I'll drop a link down below. The light itself seems pretty decent. It doesn't come with a wiring harness. The packaging was awful. It was just a plain box, and they were wrapped in plastic. The mounting brackets, although they look pretty similar to the rigids, I'm pretty sure these are not even close to the same quality. However, once I've bolted them down for test fitting, I think they're going to be plenty strong enough. The hardware was okay, except for the nuts that you're supposed to put inside these fins to tighten up on these brackets. There was absolutely no way you were going to be able to tighten those up because you couldn't get, well, I guess if you had one of those really thin like AN wrenches, you could have got in there. But yeah, that would have been pointless. So I went down to the hardware store and got some of these flanged nuts that have the little serrations on the back. So I'll be able to drop them in there. There's a cutout inside there to act kind of as a wrench, and since this has a flange on it, it will sit where it needs to go, and you can tighten them down. So these are 6mm zinc coated flange lock nuts, I think is what these are called. I do like to use these on a lot of things. They're pretty handy. So I went ahead, I had to drill this hole bigger. That's a 1/2 inch hole now, and I'll point the camera over at the bumper over here to show you why I did that. I'm not going to zoom in super far so that you guys can kind of get a whole idea of what's going on. Here is the Harbor Freight winch plate, factory crash bar. I showed you guys before that I put some big 1/2 inch bolts all the way through this and tightened it down at the bottom here with another self-locking flange nut. So this is like the best place to mount the light, but there was no real good real estate to mount that bracket. Plus, then I was gonna have to drill another hole and then recess another hole into this so that the nut would fit. So hence the added hole. That's actually the wrong side bracket, but you guys are gonna get the picture. The bolt, 1/2 inch bolt, will go through there, and then it will go through here, and then I've got to stack a couple washers to lift the light up high enough to poke out over this. I could have cut that down, but there was no point in that. I just added a couple extra washers, and I've test fit them. They look pretty good. I've just been touching up paint on washers that were getting rusty, and these brackets that I drilled out so that they don't get rusty. So the next step will be to pull all this stuff together, and then I will show you guys the final unwired product. Alright, y'all, so hang with me while I try to explain something to you. I've got the lights bolted up, 1/2 inch bolt through the bracket, 3 big thick 1/2 inch washers to kind of get this to the height where it will clear this bracket, and I can still kind of point them down. I do need to get some, like another 1/2 inch longer bolts, so I think I need like 5 inch longer bolts now. So after I put the bracket on up here, I couldn't get a socket or a wrench on the head of that bolt to tighten it down, and I couldn't get anything on this nut down here. This opening's not big enough for a open-end wrench to go in, and the gap underneath, let's move the camera zoom in so I can show you guys, hopefully, what I've got going on here. Because I think it's kind of a little ingenious, a little redneck at the same time, admittedly. So you have a bolt there and a bolt here that connect this bash bar to those frame extensions. And so I couldn't get a socket up here because the bash bar came out. So I kind of notched this a little bit with my angle grinder and then cut up from the bottom, pried that off so I could get a socket in there. Except for the bolt coming down was too close to this bolt that was sticking out. It had like a smooth shoulder on it so you can start the nut easier, and that was in the way. So rather than cut even more of this away, I just plunged my cutoff wheel up through the bottom of it and took that smooth shoulder off of there, and now I can get a socket up there to tighten this nut down. Like I said, cutting all this up admittedly is a little redneck. I still need to get in there and kind of clean it up the best I can with a flap wheel, maybe round off some edges. It's still plenty strong, but now there is a slice back here on both sides. But I can get that bolt on, I can cinch it all together really well, the whole winch plate to the bash bar is all secure and it's easy to put together. That's what she looks like now with the lights bolted on. Time to put the bumper cover on. These lights are pretty sturdy. I need to tighten up these Allen screws on the sides, and they feel pretty sturdy. Everything's bolted together as far as that 1/2 inch bolt. This is all tight. And again, they're sturdy, but the brackets are like thin enough that even though the bolt is tight, I can still kind of tweak the bracket, and I'll be able to get just fine adjustment. These aren't, it's just to add a little bit light going down some gravel roads. It's nothing major to fill a gap in the bumper to kind of complete the look of what we got going on there. So now that you've seen the insides, let's get the bumper put on so you can see the finished product. Just like that, back together. Looks pretty good. If I do say so myself, admit it is kind of hard to get a real idea of what it looks like. We'll get everything buttoned back together, and once it gets wired up, we'll take it outside for a little bit better walk around and a look at the lights and some of the wiring. But I think that about wraps it up tonight. At least I don't have any more gaping holes in my bumper. I wasn't too fond of that. One more thing I forgot to mention when I had the bumper off. The ends of these lights were just wire ends. There was no connectors or anything, so I have all those weather pack connectors that I've showed you guys before. I can drop another link down below for you. But I went ahead and put these waterproof ends on both sides of the lights, and I will do the opposite end on the harness when I get the harness put in here. Well, that wraps up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Honestly, that was another kind of impromptu video, but it was one of those things that kind of went together pretty well, and I was happy how it turned out, so I thought I would share it with you guys. Next Sunday's video, of what I hope is going to be next Sunday's video, which was supposed to be this last Sunday's video that wasn't a video, something a little bit different. Well, I say a little bit different. Something maybe that you weren't expecting on the channel. So some more fun vehicle stuff. But anyway, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Turn the notifications on. Just click that little bell. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And be sure to check out the other videos about the 4Runner, that whole winch install series that I did. Follow the links down below over to Instagram and Facebook, and I will drop a couple links for some of the stuff that I use that's not an Amazon affiliate. Like, I don't get a kickback from any of that. That's just...
Daddy?
Yes, dear.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Love you.
Okay, bye.
It's just some stuff that I have picked up that was reasonably priced and has actually worked pretty well. So, always good stuff to share within the DIY automotive community. Anyway, thank you for watching. Until next Sunday, at least fingers crossed next Sunday. Take care. Goodbye.